Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Uplift Trade. It is Tuesday, October 21st, a little bit after 8:30 in the morning in Europe. I hope you guys are doing really well. Let's see what kind of understanding we can grasp from the forward chart and see if we can extract some cash from the market for today. As always, I'll be looking at the Bitcoin price chart and I will be trading the future side on the Binance exchange. So if I look at the 4-hour, we have two signs that are quite obvious. After the liquidation we had, price made an attempt at retracing the liquidation movement, but got stuck underneath this moving average here, which is a daily simple 21 period moving average. So it appears that it provides resistance. So price made a breakthrough, the 12 and the 21 on the 4-hour chart, made an attempt at breaking through, a second attempt on support, and then got rejected from this resistance and resumed downtrend. And you can see that downtrend was resumed while gliding along the 12 and the 21 moving averages. And there was another attempt yesterday, which appears to be a failure as well. Same principle, price gets above the 12 and the 21 moving averages and finds some kind of area of resistance. So in this time, not directly around the 21 moving average, descending one on the daily chart, but just above. Let me draw. So it appears that this resistance, this area here, I'm very generous with the delimitation. Is not on purpose to be, I don't want to be on purpose precise, but it's just for me to keep in mind that this area is providing some strong resistance. You can see here, it's very clear on the 4-hour that price stayed quite a few day and a half of trading activity and tried to make his way up, tried to make his way down, indecision, and then finally decided to go down. So we had somehow yesterday something very similar. Yesterday was a little bit nerve-wracking. I was not trading, but I was looking at the price action. And the level was clear, and it was also clear that any attempt would result in a failure to break above, because this is usually what happened unless there was a strong push in volume. So area of indecision yesterday and above resistance moving average. And I think this horizontal line here on the 4-hour is a former all-time high. Yeah, so that's the all-time high from May 2025, which has provided some nice price reaction over the past. So yesterday was a tough cookie. So today it appears that price is repeating what has been done here. So essentially finding an area of support, perhaps, and I'm saying perhaps because there is no guarantee and I have no indication whatsoever, but perhaps finding some support within this area. Yeah, so we may have price that will stall a bit there before attempting to get close to the moving average. So all in all, I don't have a clear shot on the 4-hour right now. I don't want to get short because my invalidation would be way too far away. I don't want to get long either because same concept. If I get long, perhaps I would put an invalidation right here, but that's too far away. So right now on the 4-hour, it's a wait and see with a bias towards downside. Let me see if the 10-minute can provide some better clarity. So these are Monday's trading range. So we reached the low of Monday's trading range. Generally, Monday's trading range provides some area of reaction on the lower extent, the higher extent of the trading range. So right now we're at the low, so it's possible that we get some reaction. But for the moment, if I look at the most recent price action on the 10-minute, you can clearly see that price is making lower low, lower highs, while staying beneath the 12 and the 21 moving averages. So right now there is an attempt at trading within the moving averages. This could be an area where price finds a temporary bottom, makes a run higher, but we would need to see price cross above those moving averages. So at the moment, I don't have a clear shot. I'm still favoring downtrends. Am I going to short support? Perhaps. If I see that price on the 10-minute is stalling within the moving averages with a few attempts at getting out, and those attempts are unsuccessful, I may be considering a short, even though price is close to Monday's lower trading range. There's liquidity here on the 10 minutes beneath. Maybe we tap this one. There's liquidity above. Maybe we tap this one. So it's hard to say at the moment. Bias to the downside, looking for short if I can see that price action is failing to maintain and break above those moving averages. If I see that price is getting through and consuming the liquidity void, then I will let the price run. I will not chase. I will let the price run, and perhaps I can find some area to enter shorts somewhere there around Monday's mid-range. And the 5 minutes, well, the 5 minute is also, I mean, it's a better understanding of what's happening on the 10 minutes. So we can see that price is gliding along the 12 and the 21 moving averages. And now we have price above the 12 and the 21 moving averages. But this does not seem to be very convincing move to make a run higher. I will probably on the 5 minutes look for, and even if I look at the RSI, it's a bit tricky because we had oversold, which is fine. And now we're making our way towards the 60 level. So if I see that price is making something like that, like we had here, around the 60 level and unable to break through, then I will entertain the idea of entering short. But at the moment, I won't chase anything. I don't have any confidence on the setup. I mean, the bias is clear to the downside, but entering right now, wait and see. All right, so just looking at the 10-minute chart, if we still have less than 3 minutes to the close of this 10-minute candle. If this candle closes beneath, like lower than where it is now, meaning beneath the low of this bullish reversal candle, then that's going to be a signal for me to enter a short. So I will enter short on the break of this candle, and I will put a stop at above 108,250. Yeah, so that would be my position for the moment. I would go with a quarter of a contract, as always, but only if this 10-minute candle closes below the low of this bullish reversal candle. If not, then I will wait and see until further clarification. All right, so let's capture it live. So I will enter the quarter of a contract on the sell side because it appears that we close below the low of the candle I was looking at. So this is done. I will immediately put my stop loss, like I said, above the high of this candle. And there we go. The stop loss is in position, and now I will manage the position. It will be interesting to see how price reacts as it approaches the low here at 107,458. Indicating probably a low is in place if we see an increase of volume here on the 5 minute as we approach this low, or if we see a continuation, especially on the tape, with thicker and thicker aggressive selling. All right, the last 5-minute candle just closed like a few minutes ago. This is not what I was looking for. It's still good because we have the 10-minute candle that is below the 12 and the 21 moving averages, so we can allow some room for price fluctuation within the space in between the moving averages, which will be fine. The stop is currently in position for $107, which is okay. I'd like to see price fail to close above. I'm gonna mark it, even though I have a stop loss higher than that. I'd like to see price attempt and fail to get above this level here. Yeah. If that's the case, then I will look at increasing another quarter of a contract on the short side. An eye on the 10 minutes. I think the 10 minute is our guide. I don't want to see price action trade above this 21 moving average. If I see that and it stays there, especially that there is a liquidity void right above it, if I see that price is trading above the 21 moving average, I'll close the position. All right, so we just had a 10-minute candle close back between the 12 and the 21 moving averages. So that would be an area where price will stall and fail to go higher and then resume downtrend. If that's the case, then it's good, and I will entertain the idea of entering another short, perhaps on a close of those 12 and 21 moving averages on the 5-minute chart. But if I see that price on the 10-minute is going above the 21 moving averages and staying there for some trading, I may consider, like I said, closing the position, because I would indicate that we are not repeating what we had of the last 50 or so candle. Yeah, so that the pattern is changing. All right, so it's been what, 5 candles on the 5-minute chart, and we have our first 10-minute candle which is closing above the 21 moving average. So I will leave my stop. What is it? 108,249 at the moment. I don't have a great deal of confidence. It looks like I'm gonna get stopped out. There is 9 minutes to the close of the 4-hour candle. I'm gonna quit the position right away. I will not wait to be stopped out. So this one is a loss of $88. Let's put 88 minus loss for this trade, and I will move on to the next trade. So the way I look at it, I have no guarantee. There is never any guarantee that despite a close above the 21 moving average, we will resume downtrend, or a close above the 21 moving average means that we will go tap the liquidity void just higher. But what I want to pay attention to is if price is doing something like that, yeah, while the RSI on the 5-minute stays below or around the 60 level. That will be an indication for me that we can consider shorting without too much hesitation. Of course, always important to position a stop loss. Never take a position without a stop loss. So on to the next trade. All right, so we have a new 4-hour candle. 4-hour candle are very reliable, but their velocity is oftentimes a disaster. And that's why I leverage the 10-minute and the 5-minute candle. I'm pleased to see that we have yet to cross above 108,234, where I had my stop earlier. I am very tempted to re-enter a short position, which I will do right away for a quarter of a contract on this nascent 4-hour candle, and I will reposition my stop exactly where it was a little bit. So the loss is $73. The stop loss represents $73. I do not exclude 4-hour candle makes a run higher within the liquidity void to find resistance on the 12 and the 21 moving averages. That would be a perfect area to enter short if I'm not short yet. But it's very possible that now we make a run to the lows here. Yeah, so that's my position for the moment. Let's see. All right, so it has been like 3 candles on the 5-minute charts. We have price making its way out of the space in between the moving averages on the 10-minute chart, which is what I wanted to see. Let's be cautious that it is not repeating what it did before, meaning 2-3 candles below and then claims back the space between the 12 and the 21 moving averages to resume that afterwards. What I will do is I will position another quarter of a contract on the break of this low here. There it is. So this is a stop market order, sell stop for a quarter of a contract. So right now the position is in profit $15. The stop is at 73. 73. When this one gets triggered, so I will be in for half of a contract at around 107,840, 850-ish. And I will actively manage my stop loss. I don't want to be too exposed on this particular idea. Yeah, let's keep watching. All right, so I have my second quarter of a contract order triggered right now. So the entry is at 107,836, and I will lower my stop loss. Let me see, actually, I lower it this level. What is the difference? Loss 184. Okay, so the stop loss is lowered, 184. I'd like to see some follow through at the moment. So current position is half of a contract, is currently in profit $20. I'd like to see some follow through and especially perhaps a last attempt at breaking higher. Okay, so let's keep an eye on the position. All right, so the position is currently in profit $112 for half of a contract. Price has broken through the former low that was made on the 10 minutes. And I'm looking for more follow through on this particular move to the downside. I will right now lower my stop. Okay, so my stop has been lowered and I will keep monitoring the position, but it's going in the right direction. So should price ever break this low here with some volume, I would expect us to make a run towards 106,700-ish. As a first area of potential support. Yeah, so let's keep an eye on the position. All right, so it has been like 3 candles on the 5-minute chart. So price is still going in the right direction. Current profit is $160 more or less. I'm resuming the recording for this particular trade because we are approaching 107,458, which was a low that was formed up until now. So the way price breaks through this low together with the volume is going to be a good telltale sign whether there is more downside to come, whether now or a little bit later throughout the day, or this is just a sweep of this low here. And we price takes out the stops that are here, the long that have the long position that have stop orders here, and then resumes up towards the liquidity void here. If I look lower, on the 5-minute, we have liquidity void here, which is exactly where on the 4-hour chart I am expecting price. I should not say expecting. I wouldn't be surprised if price gets into this area and finds some area of some sort of support at 106,700-ish. Yeah? But right now we need to see, I want to see how price breaks through this 107,458. Maybe we get it now, or I will have to pause the recording and resume later, but it will be very interesting for me to look at the tape and the velocity of the exchange, the speed at which transactions are getting through the tape, and also the thickness of the exchange. So you see, for instance, now we have 4 contracts on the aggressive sell side at 107,490, and it was just followed by 5 contracts on the aggressive buy side. So there is on those 2 particular exchanges significant interest from either side, sellers and buyers, to trade at this particular level. So let's see. I'll pause the recording and resume when there is price action. So there was a little bit of a price action here. We had price making an attempt at breaking through the moving averages on the 12 and the 21, which represents a rejection on the 12 moving averages on the 10-minute chart, which is a good sign. Now, what I want to see is a continuation of the move down. If there is something like this that happens, let's say something like this, for instance, with some volume here, this will seriously make me reconsider the probability that price is going to make its way lower toward this liquidity void, at least for now. Yeah, let's keep an eye on the position. So it's been almost an hour since I paused the recording, and you can clearly see that, especially on the 5-minute, the price has stalled horizontally, so it's in a micro range. You can see that the moving averages, the 12 and the 21, are getting closer to each other and are horizontal. On the 10-minute, this looks like several attempts at getting through the 12 and the 21, and those attempts are being rejected, which is a good sign since I'm short. I was saying earlier that if I see price trade above this, I drew a line just so that it's easier to see where the level is. So it's 107,934. If I see price trade above this, together with some volume, I will entertain the idea of closing the position, because they will significantly increase the odds that we're going to make a run higher, perhaps towards this. And what I want, even if I have to re-enter short afterwards. But right now, it's just a matter of patience, like most of the time. There's no indication that the trade is gonna end up profitably or end up wrong, since we've been moving horizontally. So let's keep an eye on the position. One thing that I wanted to highlight is the volume on the 10-minute is almost no volume. If there was bottom information, you would tend to see some volume as you approach the low. So that was not the case. There was an increase of volume, but nothing too significant. And also volume on the other sides towards making. So right now, it's still fine. Just wait and see. All right, so there is some movement in the price action. Are we gonna get a test and a swipe of the low at 107,458? That's a question mark, but it appears that this congestion, horizontal trading in a range, in a micro range we had for an hour and 15 minutes appears to be over, unless this is a trickery. Bitcoin has plenty of trickery up its sleeves, but it looks like the range bounce price action is over, and now price is resuming the downtrend. Well, like I said, like an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, I'll keep an eye on how, if price gets to this level, 107,458, I'll keep an eye on how the transaction flow, the speed at which they flow, and also the size of the exchanges. Yeah, I'm still looking for, as I'm short, for price to trade within this liquidity void here, and perhaps exit entire position somewhere there. Yeah, 106,700. So that would be my exit, depending on how price action is moving. But still, you see, it's been like 2 hours since I entered the position. What time is it? It's 12:26, a little bit over 2 hours. I entered the position. That's usually what happens sometimes with day trading. You can have a horizontal price movement, and the worst that you can do, that can happen, is that you get tricked by false breakouts. Yeah, so when you are in a range, which appears to be the case, at least for the moment, it's very common to be tricked. Like price will make a new low and then revert back within the range and break the new high and then revert back within the range. Essentially is what I call chop down. Yeah, so we had a bit of chop down, and there is no indication that chop down is over. You can see that now that we are making a move towards the low, we have 13 contract on the aggressive buy side at this particular level. I doubt that it's going to be enough to push price higher, but it's still a way for price to indicate that there are transactions at those levels, and it's not ready to either go up or go down. So chop down. Yeah, let's keep an eye on it. Well, you see, for the sake of transparency, price has made its way above the line where I said if you ever get there, I will close the position, especially with some volume. So this is exactly what happened. Price is back within the range. It took me 6 or 7 minutes to go downstairs and fetch a package. When I came back, we were above, so the stop hasn't been triggered, but the odds that I will get stopped out significantly increased on this particular move. Like, I'm not really happy about that, but it is what it is. So let's keep an eye on the position. I'm not closing the position yet because we're still within the range. We have divergence on the RSI, and yeah, maybe we have a run of the 4-hour candle as attempt to make its run towards the moving averages. Let's see. All right, so position has been stopped out. Price made its way above 108,234. So this represents a loss of $188 for this second trade of today. So I'll move on to the next trade right away. So I'm going to add 188 to the books for today and onto the next trade. All right, I'm going to have to leave the house in about 30 minutes. So I'm not going to trade anymore. I think for today, maybe sometimes it's 1. I should be home around 4:30. Depending on price action, I'll be trading. Otherwise, that will be it for today. So first trade was a loss for $88, if my memory serve me well. Second trade was also lost for $182 or $188. Two losing trade for today. On to the next trading activity, perhaps today or let's see tomorrow. But it's an interesting development. When you have price ranging like this, you never know which way it's gonna go. It can keep on giving you positive signs, meaning signs that go along your bias for a certain period of time, like we had when price was failing to close above the moving averages and made a new low. And suddenly, poof, price reversed, and all these stop orders that were positioned on the sell side were triggered. So this is what we had, kind of a mini short squeeze, and we went to tap the liquidity void. Now it appears that price is making its way lower, so I have no idea what that means. But yeah, it is what it is. So that's why always use a stop. And whenever, my case for today, I'm like close to 300 in loss. Whenever you reach your daily loss limit, just stop, no matter what. Just stop, go do something else and come back the next day. Yeah. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks a lot for sticking around, watching the video till the end. If you haven't done so, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe to the channel. And I will be speaking to all you tomorrow. Thank you. Take care. Bye.